It is finally the day of the deb ball, and the preparations are in full swing at the club. In the morning, Susanna excitedly wakes Belly up from her sleep. She then talks to her about how she is feeling and wonders if she pushed Belly into being a debutante. She worries that Belly is doing something she doesn't want to do, but Belly assures her that she really wants to go to the ball, and all is well and good. A surprise awaits Belly when she goes downstairs. Her mother and Susanna have bought a new dress for her. It's the one she had always wanted from the beginning. This makes Belly really happy and she gets teary-eyed. Laurel gets emotional as well, finally having to come to terms that her little girl is growing up and will be presented to society soon. Stephen arrives at Shayla's doorstep, looking timid and guilty. He tells Shayla that he can't be her date anymore because he doesn't have any money to buy a tux. He blew off all the money he earned during the summer on the poker game with the boys. This upsets Shayla because the ball is later that evening. She feels disappointed in Stephen. Stephen shamefully apologizes to her, but the damage has been done. Shayla tries to give him money, but he refuses to take it. In the end, she doubts if he even wants to be her date. Stephen assures her that he does and he is so very sorry about what happened. Shayla calms down and they decide that Stephen will wear her dad's tux instead. While leaving for the club, Conrad brings Belly her favorite muffins, but she refuses to indulge, and this stings him a little. Later, while she is leaving, Conrad again tries to talk to her, wishing her luck for the ball, but Belly quickly brushes him off. Outside, she meets with Jeremiah, and he notices that she seems a little worried. Belly is nervous to see the girls after everything that happened, especially Nicole. Jeremiah assures her that whatever happens, he will be by her side at all times. The two share a kiss before they part ways. But unfortunately, Stephen returns home just in time to see the two of them kissing. He feels repulsed by even the idea of Belly and Jeremiah together, but Belly asks him to mind his own business. On a serious note, Stephen reminds Belly that Jeremiah is like family to them, and if she messes this up, it will be bad for a lot of people. Then, Belly leaves to get ready for the ball. Meanwhile, Stephen catches up with Jeremiah and expresses how he feels about him and Belly together. Jeremiah promises him that he would never hurt Belly, and Stephen, despite being a little uneasy, believes him. In the country club green room where all the girls are getting ready for the big show, Belly finds Nicole and sits next to her. Nicole still seems mad, but Belly asks her for a chance to explain her side of the story. She confesses that she's had a crush on Conrad her entire life, but he never felt the same way. She promises Nicole that she's over him now. After hearing Belly's story, Nicole's anger does melt, but she points out to Belly that no one ever really gets over their first love. Susanna makes an entrance at the ball with Conrad and the others. As she sees Stephen and Jeremiah ready to partake in the ball festivities, she feels emotional about how this may be the last time they all would be together. Conrad and Laurel understand the meaning behind her words, but Jeremiah still remains clueless about his mother's ailment, though he can feel that something is definitely amiss. While the adults meet and greet, the debutantes and their escorts line up behind the stage. As Belly looks at herself in the mirror, she can't help but feel pretty and validated in her own eyes. And that is all a girl ever truly needs to feel. Conrad meets the guys before their performance to wish them good luck. He tells them how he feels that they haven't hung out much this summer, and Jeremiah agrees, saying that Conrad wasn't around much. There is a tense vibe between the two brothers that's hard to read. But looking past that, Conrad accepts his mistake and suggests that all the guys should go on a fishing trip before summer ends. The guys enthusiastically agree, and Conrad gives them both a hug before leaving. Everyone waits with bated breath as the hostess announces Bella's name, and she is escorted by Jeremiah. Belly looks and feels radiant as she glances over from the stage at her friends and family. She then walks over to her mom and hands her the bouquet she is carrying, which Laurel passes on to Susanna. Susanna feels appreciative and especially proud of Belly. Suddenly, Laurel gets emotional and leaves there before she starts to cry. John, her ex-husband, follows her to make sure she's okay and finds Laurel in a pitiful state in the other room. When she sees him, Laurel tells him that he and Victoria will have to babysit the kids while she's away taking care of Susanna after summer ends, but finds out that the two are no longer together. She feels overwhelmed by Susanna's medical condition, and John tries to comfort her when Jeremiah walks in, calling them back to the show. Before the start of the escort dance, Jeremiah seems worried about his mother. He even asks Stephen if he's noticed anything unusual about her lately, but soon, the dance starts and the boys get busy. They deliver a fantastic dance performance that everyone enjoys, but even then, Jeremiah can't seem to shrug off his concern. So he secretly takes away his mother's phone. Meanwhile, Stephen and Shayla bump into Liam, who makes fun of Stephen's clothes that don't fit him well. His behavior makes Stephen annoyed, and instead of lying or putting on a show, he comes clean to him about how he couldn't afford a tux because he lost all his money to him that day. Cleveland tells Laurel about his plans for the fall and wants her to join him, but Laurel can't. She gives him a vague reason for it, but Cleveland already knows her reason. He is about to tell him about Conrad when they get interrupted as the show resumes. Belly looks for Jeremiah everywhere but is unable to find him. Stephen confronts Shayla about his feelings toward Liam. He feels threatened and insecure by the people in Shayla's life and worries that he will never be able to match up with them to be worthy of her. Shayla tells him she doesn't care about any of that and chose him and not the other guys. This does make him feel a little better, and Stephen realizes that he's in love with her. The two confess their love and get ready for their dance. On the other hand, Belly can't find Jeremiah anywhere. Everyone starts to worry about him while Jeremiah, after going through his mother's phone, finds out about her cancer. He is too shaken and distraught to do anything else at that point. And so, as Belly stands alone in the midst of all the couples, receiving judgmental and pitiful glances from everyone around, Conrad steps to her rescue. Like her knight in shining armor, Conrad chooses to be Belly's dance partner to save her from being humiliated. All the feelings that Belly had locked inside a box come spilling out once again. Jeremiah finally returns and sees Belly dancing with Conrad, but with everything else he just learned, this is the least of his problems. After the dance, Belly and Conrad share a sweet moment where she thanks him for dancing with her, and Conrad tells her that he's glad it was him she danced with. While they're sharing this moment, Jeremiah barges in and demands to speak with Conrad in private about their mom. Meanwhile, Cleveland finally tells Laurel that Conrad knows about Susanna's cancer. In between all this chaos, Jeremiah is shocked that Conrad had always known about their mother and smacks his brother in the face. The two break into a fight right in the ballroom, and when Susanna sees the commotion, she rushes to break it off. She is confused as to why they were fighting like animals, and Conrad confesses to her that they know the truth. No longer a secret, everyone finds out about Susanna's illness. While Belly, Laurel, and Stephen grieve the bad news together, Jeremiah asks his mother if she will do the trials and fight this disease. Susanna tells the boys that she won't because the chances of succeeding are very small, and she doesn't want to go through the grueling treatment again. Jeremiah pleads with her to try again, but Susanna's made up her mind. Conrad, too, helplessly asks his mother to reconsider her decision to do the trial because he isn't ready to lose her yet. The boys break down and three of them have an emotional moment as Susanna comforts them. Later, Susanna tells Laurel that she has reconsidered and will be doing the trial after all. Laurel feels so relieved to know this. The family gathers for dinner after a highly emotional day, and in the end, Belly thinks to herself that no matter what happens next, she will always come back to this house, this place, and these people. Belly and Conrad sit by the shore, watching the sunrise together, and for the first time that whole summer, Conrad feels like he can breathe. He apologizes to Belly for being the way he had been all summer. Belly forgives him, understanding that he only acted that way because he was keeping this big secret within. Soon, it is time for her to leave, but Conrad has so many things he wants to say to her. Belly asks him to not say anything because he is in a vulnerable position at the moment, and she does not want to take advantage of that. He tells her that he needs her, but Belly doesn't want that. She wants him to want her like she wants him. When Conrad confesses that he does want her, Bella's restraint finally breaks, and the two finally kiss each other.